God help us all, because Judge Jeff Jones has brought Sid to ECW.
Yeah. In your house with O'Con. Hey, O'Con in your house. Hollywood in your house. Hypocrisy's head in the clouds. Curating all kind of loud. Wrestling in front of the crowds. Paragon's holding it down. Anybody can get it. Josh Joseph standing on his decisions. He is the voice. There is no choice. We as them boys in your house making wrestling noise. Moving fast just like cruiserweight action. In your house is the perfect distraction. Pumpers in your ears when you in traction. Get this work with some wrestling action. Whoa. What is up, guys? What's cracking? It's the Con Man, and I am in yo house. You guys already know what we do around here. We talk professional wrestling, and guys, we love to do it. That's what we here to do, y'all, is talk some wrestling and have a great time with you guys out there in the household. And you guys already saw at the top of the show, man, Sid in ECW. What a vibe that was, my God. And you know, rest in peace to Sid Vicious. Much respect to that man. It's Friday, y'all. So, out of respect for that man, we're going to talk some wrestling. And because it's Friday, that means we're going to get extreme. And when I get extreme, I always make sure I bring in the educator of extreme. That is, of course, the voice, Josh Joseph. What is up, brother man?
How goes it, house? How goes it, household? Window lickers, grunts, friends, my friends, everybody out there. Thank you for joining us for another extreme evening. And we kicked it off with a banger because Sid Vicious in ECW, as you could see, was not very poetic. There was no beauty to it. He botched a couple things, but he brought in energy. That crowd loved him. And that's what Sid was. He was energy. And I can't wait to be here with you on our energy-packed show that we always have every Friday, the ECW Watch Along. I love it, House.
Say that again. Can you say that again?
The ECW Watch Along.
That is right. So you guys already know it is time. Oh, yeah. We're doing it for Sid. It's time, you sons of bitches. It's time for another edition of the ECW Watch Along. And you guys already know the vibes. We do this. We guys give you this episode. We're giving it to you heavy because you know we're doing a great watch along. It's, of course, myself and the educator of extreme, the voice, Josh Joseph. And, man, we're going to get to it in the second half of this episode, of course, the watch along. So, we got something big for you guys on the first one because it seems like it hit really good on the last week's show. We're going to get to that. But first, before we get to that, voice, go ahead and let the household, our fellow ECW watchers, know what we're watching this week and give them the minute mark and everything so that way they'll be able to pick it up. And then, of course, we'll remind you right before we do it.
Yes. So fans, friends, everybody out there, window lickers, we are going to one of the biggest feuds that touched ECW. It is the battle between Tommy Dreamer and Raven. And this is just on an ECW Hardcore TV. So right there's your little note. Go to ECW Hardcore TV, hit it up. It is season 5, episode 24. And you want to be at that minute marker of 9 minutes and 7 seconds. You will see the innovator of violence and his plump rump. And that will let you know that you are ready to rock and roll with me and House. This is a great, fantastic feud. If you followed ECW, you love it, you know it. This is what made ECW a huge spot for everybody to pay attention to. So we'll get into that even more when we get ready to go with it. But yeah, I just love this feud. I love this match. And this is the final one before Raven goes to WCW.
Oh man, and I remember watching Raven heavily in WCW. This is gonna be great. This is gonna be exciting.
Oh, yeah.
We're definitely gonna get to that in the second half of our episode. But before we get to that, you guys really seem to like our AI generated episode. I know we did. I mean, honestly, that's all that matters to me, is that we have fun doing it. And if we have fun doing it, it's going to translate to you guys as well. You guys are going to have fun. So we decided to do it again. And this time, last week we had a whole lot of fun as far as like booking the reboot of ECW. That was awesome. That was fun.
That was fun.
It was good stuff. But, it comes to mind. What's up, Bruce? You got to show you love, bro. You've been dedicated since you found us, bro. Thanks for finding us. For real. We appreciate you, bro. But, we talked about the reboot of ECW, but if ECW had never ended, there'd be no need for a reboot.
Very true.
Yeah.
Very true.
So we went ahead, myself and The Voice, we decided to come together and ask AI, what if ECW had never gone bankrupt and Paul Heyman still ran it? So, all right, guys. All right, y'all. Voice does not know what I'm about to read. I don't know what I'm about to read. I'm just going to read it. I'll do it like we did last week, Voice. We will. I'll find a breaking point. I will get your thoughts. We'll talk about it a little bit, and then we'll continue and just boom, boom, just like that, bro.
Beautiful. Love it.
All right, here we go. All right. If ECW had never gone bankrupt and Paul Heyman still ran it, the wrestling landscape could have been dramatically different. Here's a speculative look at what might have happened. Number 1, ECW's influence on wrestling. ECW was known for its hardcore style, innovative storytelling, and edgy presentation, which heavily influenced both WWE and WCW during the late 1990s. Had ECW survived, it could have continued to push the envelope, forcing WWE and other promotions to innovate further to keep up. This could have resulted in a more diverse and competitive wrestling scene, with ECW retaining its niche as the rebellious alternative. What's your thoughts on that, Voice?
I'm already hooked on this one. It nailed it perfectly. Like what, the feeling behind ECW, what they were the annoying stepbrother that was at your heels, just like, hey, can I hang out with you guys?
Yeah.
No, you can't. But, I mean, well, I can't wait to go any further, because I know what they're about to. I know with the idea of Paul Heyman behind something and AI generating that, it's only magical, because it only takes the good parts of Paul Heyman and puts it in there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So this could be exciting.
Yeah, this definitely could. I like how it's saying that basically, I mean, in a long way, it was saying ECW was ahead of its time, and it forced the other promotions that, of course, probably had more bankroll behind them to follow what they were doing, because they were creating such a like it said, niche and rebellious fan base. And we've been chronicling ECW for maybe almost 2 months now. It's probably been 2 months. And I'll tell you, every single crowd that we've seen has helped make those matches. It's real. It's real. The crowd, it's exactly what it was. Everybody saw it as a rebellious alternative, and that's awesome. So I love it. I like where it's headed right now. I'm going to go ahead and get into this number 2 now. So number 2, talent development and retention. ECW was a breeding ground for future stars like Rob Van Dam, Taz, the Dudley Boys, and many others. If ECW had remained in business, it might have continued to develop talent that could either stay loyal to ECW or be sought after by WWE and other promotions. Paul Heyman's eye for talent might have introduced new stars who could have become legends within ECW or across the wrestling world.
They're right. he did develop those guys.
Yep.
He did very well, and I mean, everybody you named, I would say outside of Taz, because I don't understand what WWE did with Taz when they had him in a ring.
Yeah.
But outside of that, all of those guys made huge names for themselves.
Yep.
And if they would have, like, let's just say if this was the world and Paul, he would have never had any question of the company going under, and he was able to give the guys what they needed to survive as they grew into their families, we may have never seen RVD.
Yep.
In WWE. He would have never left. He was a loyalist to them. So were the Dudleys. Dudleys said they followed money because they had to feed their families.
Yep.
Like, but if that's not in question, who does he create next? Who do they bring up?
Yeah. Yeah. If it would have continued, man, I mean, look at it. Okay, so the way I looked at it, it was like this, because Paul Heyman was so great at developing talent. He's still developing talent. You know, we don't really talk about how he influenced the big dog into the tribal chief. You know what I'm saying?
True.
So, like, he knows what he's doing. That's why he's just masterful at what he does, and why I really, like, he's definitely, as far as when I'm doing anything in the wrestling business, I always reference Paul Heyman, because to me, he's one of the greatest minds and one of my favorite minds to study and do what he does and try to learn from him and everything. Like, I don't really sit up there and watch documentaries like that, but I sat up there and watched Paul Heyman's documentary. My name, you know, ladies and gentlemen, my name is Paul Heyman, and I learned so much from it. Like, and I looked at it like study material, man. Like, I wanted to watch it because I love Paul Heyman, but I was also studying from the man as well and seeing what he did, and like, it really opened up my eyes to like what I do in indie wrestling, because I'm like, wow, I was doing that stuff without knowing that Heyman was doing that stuff. Like, I remember seeing, and I'm bringing this right back, because I remember they would show backstage content of like Paul Heyman like helping Rhino with promos.
Yeah.
And he would be like, no, you got to get more intense. You got to be like, and Rhino was just like looking at this man with such sheer respect. You know what I'm saying? He was like, yeah, okay, I see what you're talking about. He's like, yeah, you got to get more intense and blah, blah, blah. And then and then they showed it, and he cut a fucking promo. This man had an influence over these guys. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's just magical what he brings to the business. So I do believe that if ECW had kept going, he would have contributed to talent that, like they said in here, would either stay loyal to ECW, or it would be the stepping stone for them to do bigger and greater things. But they'll always look at ECW and look back at that and was like, I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for that. Yeah.
Oh, very true. Yeah, I love that. It's something that true ECW alums know.
Yeah.
You know, outside the fans, they're the only ones in that ring who know what it meant to be ECW, and it was very hard. We've witnessed it for many weeks now.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, yeah, and you brought up the crowd at the beginning. When have we done a watch along where we did not mention the crowd?
That's exactly.
There hasn't been one. I guarantee there hasn't been one. And if anybody's out there and you're a big old nerd and you want to look back in the catalog and figure it out,
I guarantee. I would put money on it. I would put money on it.
Yeah. I don't think there was one that we did not mention the crowd.
Because they've all been amazing.
Yes.
They've all been amazing. Crowd. This is why ECW was special. You know what I'm saying?
Very much so. Very much so.
All right. So number 3, business evolution. Paul Heyman's financial management was one of the main reasons ECW struggled. If the company had avoided bankruptcy, perhaps through better financial practices, a strong television deal, or a partnership with a larger organization, ECW might have evolved into a more financially stable entity. However, Heyman's creative vision would likely have remained the driving force, potentially leading to continued tension between business needs and creative desires.
Oh. Well, I mean, yeah.
So basically what I got from that, I don't know if you feel the same way, that because Paul Heyman, like, he pushed the envelope in ECW. I mean, that's an understatement. That's an absolute understatement. I feel like what this is getting towards is that if he would have had to tone down his vision in order to maybe appeal to, people who they're trying to sell to, because I don't think, like, with WWE, they was like, let's target kids. We got to target kids. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So if they would have got with like a television station that doesn't hold those hardcore values like that, like, and they're just like, hey, we need you to tone your product down, I don't think Paul Heyman would have done that. You know what I'm saying? Like, Paul Heyman was I can't say was, he still is passionate about the business. You know what I'm saying? And he's passionate about doing things in a way that he thinks is going to be compelling and hook people in. You know what I'm saying? Not every storyline is going to be great. You know what I'm saying? It's not going to be like that. But he moved in such a way that it seems like his goal was to make every single thing on the card something that you would be talking about. Something that was like, oh my gosh, what is happening? Oh my gosh, now what is happening here? And like you said, there hasn't been anything you've shown me where it's not like the crowd's been sitting on their hands or anything like that. It just proved that what he was doing was working, and I think that if you try to tone that down, people are going to pick up on that real quick, and you're going to push away that hardcore rebellious audience.
Yeah, I could see where that is going. But then again, I look back to the last year that they had, and Steve Corino was one of their champions, and his whole gimmick was not being hardcore and not giving into those hardcore matches, even though ultimately those were where his matches led to. But it always reminds me to the first time I went to a sushi bar, and I was sitting there. The sushi chef is in front of me, and he's doing his thing. He's talking to me. It's the first time I've eaten sushi, and I order all this food, and halfway through it, he sees I'm slowing down, and he looks down and he sees all these rolls, and he goes, eyes are bigger than stomach. And in this same thing, I believe that's where Heyman's downfall was his eyes were bigger than what he could put on air. Yeah. Because every time he tried to catch that lightning in a bottle, which he did so many times. I mean, so many times with so many events, it ends up being harder and harder and harder, because you have to go more and more and more. The bar set higher. Yeah. You can only go so high over that bar. I mean, we talked about it many times before, the crucifixion that they did. Yeah. That was something that was like, that almost got them to where nobody would have put them on air again.
Oh, God, yeah, they would have put them on. Yeah, nobody was going to put them on, or could have put them on TV.
But WWF does the same thing. Yep. Stone Cold. And it was okay.
And it's crazy because, like, doing it then, this is very much what AI was talking about earlier, where it was like, the Attitude Era, heavily borrowed from ECW.
Oh yeah,
heavily. Anybody that was watching or paying attention around that time and was really like deep into wrestling, like you was like now we do go on the dirt sheets and stuff like that. Like you was out getting the magazines back then. You know what I'm saying? If you wanted to be on the end, you had to go get the magazines. You know.
Yep.
And like if you know that WWF at the time borrowed heavily from what ECW was doing. It was their whole vibe almost. You know, it was Crash TV, and not all of it was great, but what was great was memorable,
Yes, very true. Very true. I mean, ECW does, they can always take claim to, they actually helped build what ultimately WWF and WCW were competing for at the time. And it was those viewerships of our generation who wanted to see something new. We didn't want to see wrist locks and headlocks anymore. We needed to see a chair being thrown. We needed to see someone getting thrown. I mean, a man threw another man off the top of a cage. Okay, and he not did it just once; he did it multiple times, and he survived.
Yeah.
So like that, even Vince got to the point where he's like, "What the hell can we do? We can't kill a man."
Yeah.
Here comes Brian Pillman with a gun in the episode.
My God. We never know.
The extreme. It ran through a lot of the main promotions, and like you said, if you were back then, you were looking in the magazines, you've seen it.
Yep, it was there. It was most definitely there. All right, we're gonna move on here. Number 4, competition with WWE and WCW. ECW could have become a more significant competitor, especially after WCW's collapse in 2001. With Heyman's innovative booking and unique product, ECW might have been positioned as a strong alternative to WWE, especially for fans disillusioned with WWE's more polished mainstream product. This could have led to a more competitive wrestling industry overall, with ECW potentially becoming a major player alongside WWE.
I always thought that. Even though we know... Go ahead.
No, I'm sorry. I was just gonna say. So I was just saying that I like how it's like ECW is still going on even after WCW's collapse, and that means that if that were the case, that means it's sustained and in a good spot at that time to be that alternative to WWE. Like they said, once, especially when you got into, pushing to the Ruthless Aggression era, although it was a great era, it was a little bit more cleaner and, not as gritty and, it was more sports based, you know what I'm saying? And that's what we really led to as far as more sports based competition. But ECW isn't really sports based competition. It's just guys fighting, and I mean that in the most respectful way, because that's what I like about it. It's just a bunch of guys just fighting, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And yes, they are wrestling. It's wrestling matches and they're good, but it felt like it was when you go into those nightclubs or something, or underground fights or something, and it's all right, you got a ticket? All right, we're not supposed to be doing this. All right, like a chicken fight or something like that. You know what I'm saying? That's what ECW feels like. It's like an exclusive fight club or something that involves pro wrestling. I've always heard that people say WWE, and that's not people, it's people in the business. WWE isn't a wrestling show. It's a show where they resolve their conflicts with wrestling.
It's true, though. I mean, if you break it down, that's very true.
Yes. And that's what
we
I feel
just
like
see
ECW,
these arguments.
Exactly. And that's what I feel like ECW was. It was just Fight Club that was it was pro wrestling. So that's what I like about it. And if it would have stayed past 2001, it would have definitely been a true alternative to WWE for sure.
Oh yeah, very true. I always was under the illusion back in the day that Vince had a hand in ECW. That he was helping, because I mean, think about it. There was a lot of guys that went over there. They did storylines with ECW.
That's true.
Vince seen that there was money to be made in ECW.
Yeah.
But if Vince would have, honestly, if he would have sat back and thought about it, keeping ECW alive back then would have been the smartest move, because you could have played off this competition. And look what we had just recently, AEW, with their birth.
Yep.
They came back, and it made WWE go, we got to make our product better.
There it is.
And that's what you need. That's what you need. And did I love the moment when the McMahons bought everything? Yes, of course I did, because it shows that you're the king of the mountain.
Yep.
But sometimes you need that opponent. You need that other side to make you look even better,
Yeah, for sure.
Call Paul and have him do something insane, and then you go and top it off. You even go bigger. It's crazy.
Yeah, or even do what WWE is doing with TNA right now. Like, keep them at like an arm's length and stuff like that, and just do business. And then you could bring guys, you know, over from ECW and bring them to WWE and do like crazy things, or you could have the ECW guys come and invade WWE, something like that. And maybe you could even send a few of your lower card WWE guys and send them over to ECW, you know, and do some one-offs and something there. I feel like that if the mindset that we have now was instilled back then, ECW would not only be alive, but it would be really thriving. Because like, if this was Vince right now, he'd be like, TNA, buy it. You know what I'm saying? Like, buy it, pal. You know, just buy it. I'm not playing the games. Just buy it. You know, you just straight out buy it. But like, no, they're playing fair right now, and I feel like that when you do stuff like this, where I do see like, with Vince having absolute control, absolutely. I see he was making power moves. I get it. But then that's what stagnated his product through the mid and late 2000s, you know, until we got like guys like CM Punk coming in and Daniel Bryan coming in. It's like, hey, I'm trying to shoot something into this, to where you're not just having Randy Orton versus John Cena every single pay-per-view, you know?
Yeah.
And you need that. You need something like that in order to keep you going, keep you motivated, keep you competitive. And that's where we lost a lot of our good WWE, once again, in that mid to late 2000s, where they were just strolling out any old thing. And they're like, well, I mean, what are you going to do? Watch some other wrestling? There's nothing out there, even though
I bought it all.
Yeah. And it's like now that we have AEW, and I know, guys, if you guys are regular listeners, you know I don't have a whole lot of nice to say about him. I've tried, I really have, and I try to not bash. I truly do. That's never what this podcast was based on. But I will say this, and I'll say this sincerely. I am glad AEW is here. I am.
Yeah.
I am glad AEW is here. You will never hear me say, I want them to go out of business, or I wish they weren't around. I am glad AEW is here, because without AEW, we would not see the WWE that we see right now. And that's just the truth.
That's 100%. That's 100%. And, you know, without AEW, Andrade wouldn't have went and figured out that what he needed to do to come back. You know, those are things that we all need to think about. I mean, we wouldn't have Bryan Danielson and him still in a ring.
Brother,
he wouldn't have had it.
Brother, if we didn't have AEW, Cody Rhodes would still be freaking Stardust. Tell me I'm wrong. I
can't. I wish I could. I really do, but I can't, because you are 100% on that. And, you know, I don't think we would have the bloodline being as compelling as it is, because then they could say, what are you going to go watch? An indie promotion? You know, and guys like us do like an indie promotion. I love a good indie promotion, but you see my point with that. So like you said, we do bash on it because we did want it. We wanted it to be, I still want it to be something. Better. You guys all seen us. We seen the Sid thing at the top, and we seen a bunch of botched moments. But you know why it wasn't like, oh my God, I can't believe Sid Vicious. He can't wrestle at all. Blah blah. The reason why it wasn't because he wasn't out there saying the best wrestling ever. He was just out there popping for fans who still knew his name, and that's what all these promotions have figured out. Besides AEW. Yes, you do have good wrestling. You have all the good wrestlers that can do the high flying stuff. You got the good mid cards that people would be like, oh my God, why are they not being pushed even higher now? But what you don't have is like perfect wrestling all the time. There's so many missed moves. There's so many things like that. But ECW was like that, but no one cared because they still gave you that energy, and that's what was loving about it. You connected with them. You had, and AEW has that with Willow. They have it with a lot of other talents too. DMD, she connects with the fans for some weird reason. She just, the fans love her. Britt Baker's over. She's always been over with them.
Hey, good for them.
Yeah. It's just crazy where we're at now, but I love it. I'm in agreement with you. We need AEW. WWE needs TNA. Yep. These three need each other, and I love it because we have options.
It's a beautiful time in wrestling, brother. It is a beautiful time in wrestling for sure. It is. All right, number 5. Impact on WWE's Attitude Era and beyond. Oh, this would be interesting. All right. Without ECW's influence, WWE's Attitude Era might not have taken on the same hardcore, edgy tone that it did. With ECW still around, WWE might have had to continue adapting its style to counter ECW's influence, possibly leading to an even more intense rivalry between the two promotions. The invasion angle that WWE did with WCW and ECW after purchasing both companies might have never happened, leading to a different trajectory for wrestling storylines in the early 2000s.
Okay, so tell me what you got out of that.
All right, so what I got out of that is basically WWE would affect, or ECW still being around would affect WWE's Attitude Era to where they probably wouldn't have went as edgy because they would have to try to contrast with ECW. You understand what I'm saying? So if ECW was still around being hardcore, if they would have started doing what ECW was doing, when ECW was around, then it would have just seemed like you're just copying ECW. And it would have watered them down and made them look corny. Instead, they would have had to pivot and go in a different direction, maybe start sports-based professional wrestling earlier, maybe take a different... I don't know what the route would be if they did not go towards the Attitude Era route.
That's interesting.
That would have worked. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's the thing, because the Attitude Era worked on so many different levels. Once again, I'm not saying it was perfect for all you wrestling historians out there, or you young wrestling fans that are like, the Attitude Era wasn't really that good. I hear you guys out there. I'm not saying it was perfect. I understand. A lot of us see it through rose-colored glasses. But my point is this, it worked in that time. And if ECW was still around and they had to pivot, maybe whatever they went to wouldn't have worked.
Yeah. But then, Vince, we all know Vince and his mindset. I'm thinking Vince, if it didn't work, Vince would have pivoted even more Attitude Era. He would have went deeper into it. Yes, exactly. I mean, I was watching a clip of The Rock and Kane. Do you know how many times The Rock said the R word to Kane throughout his career? Let's just say that the number, it really kind of makes you go, Rock, really? But then you go, oh wait, that was a different era. Yeah, exactly. We understand. Yeah. There was that shock TV. They wanted to get all the views. I mean, we had a lady give a birth to a hand. Oh, so, my God. I remember. There was multiple craziness in there. And I mean, even when you go to those things, though, ECW was doing it even more extreme with their storylines. There was a Raven, what we're going to watch tonight. He abducted a man's family, people. He got the kid to tell the dad, I don't love you anymore. This is my new dad. That's kind of really weird. And that's I think deep. What really pushed, it is, because then he crucified his father. But I think what pushed the edge over with that one was the barbed wire crown of thorns. Yeah. Oh, when Raven put that on Sandman, I think that's when the censors were like, whoa. Okay. That's too far because now you're getting into So that's what I loved about ECW, the extreme, not only in the moves, in the usage of violent objects, but the storylines, the extremeness of it. It gave such a reality to it. And like you said, to me, the ECW, like their wrestlers felt like you could go to a bar one night and get too mouthy and get into a fight with somebody like that and have an ECW match.
Yep.
I mean, they were just real guys, and that was a cool connection with them.
Yeah.
But I like that if Vince would have went wrestling, like he would have went more performative wrestling.
Yeah.
I think he would have pushed The Rock even more, though.
You think so?
Well, just because think of The Rock's career after that era. He started getting into movies. He started becoming, I guess a role model, but he really wasn't. Yeah. Like he was saying, I'm not a role model. What are you doing?
But
and then he'd get into his exactly. Cool. So he embraced it. Yeah. I mean, there's definitely a coolness factor when it came to The Rock when I was a kid. There was like something about him. I mean, I found that in Farouk too.
Yeah.
Like there was just something about the way Ron Simmons just stood there. It was like he presented himself in a cool way. Yeah. Even Bradshaw, when he was with Ron, he had that about him. But once he became JBL, he did not. He just had the asshole. And isn't that a crazy thought too? The JBL. We should cover that. We should cover that one day.
I would love to cover that because I always I was watching at that time, but I don't really remember the pivot between him being Bradshaw to leaving the Acolytes and becoming JBL. Because remember, before that, they were the beer swilling bounty hunters. Mm-hmm. You come knock on their door, pay them, they'll beat somebody up for you.
Yeah.
So and then he pivoted and became like the rich Texas guy. So I would that's cool with me. No, that's cool because he had a very unique career, and
exactly.
Yeah, no, we could definitely do that at some time. But yeah, man, it makes you question what Vince would have done if ECW was still around and staying in that lane. Would he have went deeper into the hardcore bag, like you said, or would he went more sports-based performative? That's a great thought.
Yeah, I like that. That's a good discussion to have too.
Yeah. Yeah, no doubt. No doubt. All right, number 6. We got 2 more here. Then we'll take a break. Paul Heyman's legacy. If Heyman had continued running ECW, his legacy as a wrestling promoter and creative genius might have been even more significant. He's already widely respected for his contributions to the business, but a successful ECW could have cemented him as one of the all-time greats in wrestling history, not just as a creative mind, but as a successful promoter. Well, my thoughts are he's still a successful promoter. I mean, He created ECW. I mean, I know it went under, but at the end of the day, how do you measure success? You know what I'm saying? And I think if you were to ask Paul Heyman if he was a successful promoter, yeah, he might have copped out and well, no, I'm not a successful promoter because I'm still not promoting, because that seems like a Paul Heyman thing to say. But I feel like deep down inside, he knows what he created. He knows the legacy that he created, and even people still in this day would love to see Paul Heyman run a promotion. I don't know anybody that remotely likes wrestling or understands wrestling in any way. And if I walked up to him and I was like, hey, would you like to see Paul Heyman start a promotion? Yes. It's a resounding yes. And if that's the case, to me, you're a successful promoter. Yeah.
No, I agree with you. I think, though, in this world that we love of wrestling, Vince really made it something to be a promoter.
Yeah.
To be on top of the mountain was to say that you're one of the best promoters. But again, we all know that Vince, he at least respected Paul.
Yeah.
I mean, look at the work they did together. He would have, even back in the day in the 90s when the whole Lawler angle was going, Vince had to talk to Paul about it to set it up to make it look as good as it did look. So I agree with you. Paul Heyman is one of the greatest promoters. Yeah. Did the bank always have the money? Maybe not.
Mm-mm.
But did every seat get filled? Yes.
Yeah.
Did everybody make money off selling their merch and doing all the extra things and all that? Yes. Did they all sit down in front of a WWE camera on stage and tell Paul Heyman he was one of the best? Yes. They made him cry. Taz brought up all the people who should be at that table with Paul.
Yep.
For Paul to have watched what he created go under, that had to be hard for him.
Yeah.
But look how he took it. He didn't complain. He
quit.
didn't whine. He didn't quit. He took his other moments that he knew he was given because of what he created. And then we got to hear Paul Heyman commentate with JR.
Yeah.
Like, to me, that's a dinner I would have 7 days a week with those two.
God, yeah, 10 out of 10 times.
Could you imagine the stories you would get out of those two?
The stories, the knowledge.
Yeah, so to me, Paul Heyman, he's one of the best promoters to ever do it. People are still trying to catch what he did.
Yep. I want to circle back real quick to what you said about Vince's respect for Paul Heyman. I'll always remember. Do you remember that promo where it was Vince McMahon out there, and then Paul Heyman came out, and he just unloaded on him. He said, "Your father, Vince McMahon, your father promised that he wouldn't compete, and you said that you wouldn't compete, and you lied. You lied." He just, was hitting him with this hat, was giving him, and then he even went in on Taz, and he was like, "You took Taz, who was a champion, who was a warrior, and you made him a fat little commentator." And he was I was like, this is one of the greatest things I've ever seen, because it was him being raw and real.
Yeah.
And you know what? Vince took all that like a man, because before they went out there, Paul Heyman asked him, "Vince, is there anything I can't say? Is there any direction that you want me to go with this?" And he was like, "Go out there and make me money."
Yeah.
And that is exactly what Paul Heyman did.
He did.
There was a respect. There's a respect there.
Exactly. If you're making Vince money, he can take it.
Yep.
He will respect you and let you say what you want. And go back if you can. Go find that, and then find all the things of Paul Heyman talking about him doing that, and you're going to have a great moment in time. And I just love listening to Paul Heyman talk too.
Me too.
He's one of my favorite. That's one thing we definitely connected over.
Oh God, for sure. Oh, we got the Chris Parrish up in here. What's good? Coming on in.
How goes it, Chris Parrish?
What is up? We're talking some ECW. We're doing our AI-generated segment. What if ECW had never gone under and Paul Heyman was still at the helm? And we're to our last one here before we take a break, and then we get to our great watch-along. It's going to be exciting. But the last one here, Voice, number 7, cultural impact. ECW had a unique connection with its fans, who were incredibly loyal and passionate about the product. If ECW had continued, it could have further influenced the culture of wrestling, perhaps leading to a more vocal and demanding fan base across the industry. The grassroots, fan-driven energy that ECW embodied might have inspired more fan interaction and engagement in wrestling as a whole. In summary, if ECW had never gone bankrupt and Paul Heyman still ran it, wrestling could have seen a more competitive and diverse industry with lasting impacts on talent development, creative storytelling, and fan engagement. The ripple effects would likely have influenced everything from the Monday Night Wars to WWE's evolution and the overall trajectory of professional wrestling.
Yeah. That was really well wrote out.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because while you were talking about that, I started thinking, would AJ Styles have went into ECW?
Ooh.
Amazing Red.
Yeah,
how
big in ECW?
Yeah, how big of a run would he have had? I mean, we had Low Key, and if they would have kept running I could have seen Low-Ki as a champion.
Samoa
He would have
Joe
been
in
the
ECW.
Oh, that would have been him and Rhino going head to head with.
My God,
dude, that would have been so. Because I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't think I'm the only one thinking this. If ECW wouldn't have, if they wouldn't have imploded and would have kept running, does TNA even start?
That's a good question. That's a good
Because
question.
I mean,
so a lot of those talents that we saw in TNA, and that makes you think. Remember the boom era for Ring of Honor? Would we have Ring of Honor? Would there be a need for these promotions? Respectfully.
Yeah.
Respectfully.
Yeah, exactly.
So like,
no,
could you
that's a
imagine
good.
Punk? Could you imagine Punk on the ground floor of ECW when it was what it was?
He would be way bigger than what he is today.
Yep,
Like,
I think so too.
He would be huge today.
Yeah.
I know he's one of the biggest talents right now. But
Kevin
floor.
Kevin Steen in ECW.
Jeez, man. I wish there was a way we could tap into a reality where this happened.
Yeah,
we could watch it, see that stuff. Because, I mean, then, okay, so WCW goes under. Does Benoit go back to ECW?
Oh, man.
Does Eddie Guerrero and Dean Malenko go back into ECW? Ooh.
That'd be insane. That would be insane. And then we could possibly even see, like, your Booker T's and Harlem Heat go to ECW. Them versus the Dudleys?
And them having to team up with New Jack because there's too many Dudleys?
Yep.
Oh my God,
That'd
dude.
be nuts. That'd be nuts.
Dude. And that would put Heyman to a point to where he could legit compete with the WWE on levels, because those talents bring more money. More money brings more possibilities, bigger shows, bigger venues. Man,
yeah,
that would be.
There's possibilities.
AI,
there, man.
You did it again. You did it again, AI.
Yeah, I'm loving this segment, man. I am loving it. That was great stuff, guys. That was our AI generated segment. What if ECW never went under and Paul Heyman still ran it? And they gave us a lot of good points. That was a great thought, man. I'm glad we went ahead and did that. That ended up being real dope.
Yeah, man, that was really cool. I like that.
Yes.
I like that you even came up with this a week ago. That was awesome. Yeah. AI, you're doing good things in this section. We like this.
Yes, we're definitely going to keep that up. But, guys, we still have a great watch-along to do. It's going to be great. We're going to talk some ECW continuing after the break. But, guys, we got to take said break. And when we come back, we're going to do our great watch-along. So go ahead and join us as we're going to be doing that work. And we're going to be doing it in your house.
A-N-I-S. Anus. Bam. 800 points. That's game.
It's not how you spell anus.
I went to Ivy Tech for 2.5 years, bro. I can spell anus.
You know what? I know an expert in this field.
I think I know who you're talking about.
What are you guys doing? We gotta go play Harvest Fest. I'm in here getting all of our gear, and you guys are here playing Scrabble? Again?
You know what, Maddie? You can settle this for us.
Yeah. How do you spell anus?
I'm not gonna settle another Scrabble discrepancy for you guys. That's the third time this week.
Calm down, Maddie. Harvest Fest isn't until September 14th. Gates open at 4 p.m.
Yeah. At the Miami Open Air Auditorium. Google for directions.
Are you telling me that Harvest Fest X is not until September 14th? Featuring bands such as Fourth Among Midgets, Forgotten Ashes, Tight Like a Tiger, GPD, Resonate, and Patron? September 14th?
I'm hungry.
Shut up! There's going to be food at Harvest Fest. The lunch break's coming down, and they're going to make delicious burgers.
I'm not having fun anymore.
Fun? You want to have fun? Well, I got a doozy for you, because the Kokomo Press is coming out, and they're going to have stand-up comedians. We're talking Sean D., Pierce Clott, Michael Howard, Greg Lindberg, Alexa Eden, Davey Moomaw, Jordan Granger, Jacob Harder, Brian Allen West, and Dan Alton.
Say it, don't spray it.
Maddie! Bro. Since you put it that way, bro. You know, you're right. You guys. I'm sorry, guys. I shouldn't have blown off the handle like that. Here's how you spell anus. A-N-U-S. Just think about it like I do. The way I remember it, it's an United States, right? So, anyways, I'll see you guys September 14th at Harvest Fest X at the Miami Open Air Auditorium. Google for directions.
Bring a tent.
I don't get it. In United States.
Hello everyone, it's the Pope Elijah Burke, founder and president of the Love Alive charity. I wanted to take this brief moment to share with you my charity's continued humanitarian efforts to positively impact the impoverished communities in and around the greater Jacksonville area. This cannot be possible without your support. If you'd be so kind, please take a moment to visit our website, love-alive.org, to learn more about the charity and its mission. Also, feel free to donate to our 501c3 organization that operates off of the donation of the public, which is you. Whether that be by website or via Cash App, $1 help makes a difference in the lives of others as we continue to positively influence many people by being the change that we wish to see in the world.
Hey guys, welcome back to In Your House, and of course that is our ECW Watch Along. You guys know what it is on Fridays. So with that being said, I'm going to throw it to my man, who of course I call the educator of extreme, the voice, Josh Joseph. Go ahead and remind them, if anybody who might be just tapping in now, remind them what we're watching. Go ahead and dig a little bit deep into it and give them the minute mark.
Awesome. Here we go, fans, friends. Let's get into it. We are on ECW Hardcore TV, Season 5, Episode 24. It is on June 10th, 1997. The minute is 9 minutes and 7 seconds. You will see Tommy Dreamer in the ring. You will see Raven in the distance running away. This is the last match before Raven heads off to WCW between him and Tommy Dreamer. This is a feud that went deep with these two. It started off as a childhood thing in the story. I believe they went to camp together in the story. Something happened at the camp. I think it was with Beulah. She was mixed in there. What transpired in the wrestling world was a horrible fights that were like so bloody and so just bleeding heart, really. I mean, between Tommy Dreamer and Raven both showing that this is what they wanted to do with their lives. This is the story they wanted to tell. I think this is in my opinion, this is where Raven figured out why with everything in wrestling. Yeah. Why am I doing this? Why am I doing that? And it was to progress a story that was so epic and a promotion that was so meaningful and so told that they couldn't tell a story. I mean, honestly, if you think about it, some of this is like what pushed off what we see today. Like the way they tell a story. This was long form storytelling between Tommy Dreamer and Raven. This wasn't like a couple weeks of them just doing 5 matches with each other. They were telling stories, and the same with Raven and Sandman. So, like, what I appreciate about this, fans, I love Raven. he's one of my favorite wrestlers. He was different, especially at the time. And Tommy Dreamer represented the tradition of wrestling. He represented the tradition of those guys that came before both of them and respecting them, but innovating his own violence on top of it, putting his whipped cream on top of that sundae. Raven went the opposite way. He disrespected everything and said, I'm doing it my way. What about me? What about Raven? And this was just an ultimate feud. It's pretty much like Goth versus Preppy Kid. Like, there's so much fun in this. Stevie Richards is out there with them. He's walking around with a blow-up doll. There's Beulah McGillicuddy's out there. I believe Francine's out there. I think she came out with Dreamer. So get ready, strap in for this extreme match. Again, we are at the 9 minute 7 seconds of the ECW Hardcore TV Season 5, Episode 24.
Yes, sir. And you led us right into it perfectly because I'm ready to go ahead and go if you're ready.
Oh, yeah.
My man. All right, then we'll do our countdown. 3, 2, 1, 0. Oh, that you just pushed him in the face.
Yeah, Stevie got pushed to the face right there. Yeah, they took it right to the crowd. Yeah,
it went right in there.
Raven just left the ring. As soon as they rang it, he left. I never understood that, but I mean, it led up to this.
Ooh.
They finally got a spotlight. Look at that, just beating him off on that, right into that steel. Just his head's banging right off of it. Crowd is energized.
I'm loving this.
You gotta love a bunch of drunk guys holding each other back so the match can continue.
Jeez, we got a chair. We are in the crowd already. Look at these people just trying to get out of the way.
And I could understand that after watching many Raven and Tommy Dreamer matches. I wouldn't want to be around these two during this stuff.
You see the cameraman right behind him there. This is great. Oh, he just hit him with somebody's juice and then drank it. And yes, sir. And it spit in his face. Yes.
I really like this too because this is where you can tell Dreamer feels like he's getting some type of redemption for this whole story. Raven's gonna be oh my God. Head first right into a table.
My God.
This match don't count.
Crazy sound.
Raven landed on the concrete as well.
Look at this. Oh, man. Dude, I see people in there with disposable cameras, bro.
Yeah,
Jesus.
That was the time.
Jesus. What a time.
I remember taking my fun disposable cameras every time we went on a school trip. Everything.
Yeah. Oh, what's he doing?
Can't get along. You gotta get it on.
Oh, he's gonna.
Exactly what these two men are doing.
That was an ugly pile driver into that concrete.
Very true. And the blood has already started on Dreamer.
Yeah, he's leaking. Oh, he just kicked him right in his face.
Big old boot. I believe the shirt that Raven's wearing is one of his friends who does a comic book, or he's associated with that comic book.
Really?
I think that was a thing with him back in the day when he wrestled. It was like his way of showing his friends and things he liked.
Yeah, support and stuff like that. Oh, what's he doing?
He's already going for another table.
Oh my God. Oh. A table suplex.
Right on your hip, too. That had to hurt so bad.
Yeah, that had to hurt, for sure.
Don't you love seeing Raven in this physique?
Yes, I do. Oh my God! Yes, I do. I remember seeing him in WCW, and I was like, geez, for like, is that is Shane Douglas in Francine?
Yep. Yeah.
our former broadcast position.
Francine's all the way up there just watching Raven destroy Dreamer right in front of him. And that was another feud that was happening, the Dreamer and Douglas feud.
Oh, what's he doing
Raven
now?
now setting up a table.
Uh-oh. Oh, no.
Oh, you know what's going to happen.
Uh-oh.
This is 90s wrestling.
Yes, it is. Oh, you're... Oh, my God. The table didn't break. It didn't
Did
give.
not break.
Gimmick table, my Batutski. 2 men, 250 pounds apiece.
You got to be wondering right now, what are you even thinking, Dreamer? That table did not break. What are we doing next?
Oh, yeah. He's coming. He's trying to do something. Uh-oh. Oh, my God.
Oh.
What?
Ooh. That post went like right in his leg, just flopped right on where that post broke.
Dear God.
That was not a good idea, Tommy.
Look at
Douglas
these two.
just
They're loving it.
laughing at him. Dude, I would love to sit there and right behind Douglas watching a match like this. That would be so fun.
Yes, that'd be amazing.
Now Raven's in control.
Oh, Jesus.
And Tommy hits the steel hard.
Like, you got kids out there dressed up like the Blue Meanie.
Yeah. Oh!
Raven hits the steel. We're seeing
Tommy, he made a lot of things look very impactful.
He did.
2 men in the
He did. He made
final
a lot of stuff
battle
look, like you said,
here
impactful,
at the
crisp. Oh! And look at him. That's just
ECW Arena for
that's just a scene right there. Looking at the blood dripping off Tommy Dreamer's face.
Yeah.
That railing to the nads will take the wind out of
We've
your
been
sails.
doing these watch-alongs for a while. I think this is our first Tommy Dreamer match.
It is.
Oh!
I think he was supposed to reverse that, but
Yeah, I
he
think so too.
slipped.
It did happen.
Sometimes you just got to make up for it.
Ow!
Ooh,
Face first to the
right onto the concrete. There's no padding out there, people. There is absolutely no padding. I think they might have like the plywood they put on a floor, so
Somebody just
who knows what
lifted
this
up a
is.
chair back there. I think
Raven's
he's trying to like,
busted
go and
open
get this
now.
chair.
Yep.
Oh, he's telling people to
And the
move.
bulldog on the concrete may have been those
Oh.
straight right hands.
Right into a bunch of chairs.
Yep.
That can never feel good.
Oh boy, he's got a chair. Somebody hand it to him. Ah!
Right on this dome.
With some fan putting the middle finger in your face. Jesus.
And then you look to your left and there's another fan wearing a fucking Burger King crown. Like, talk about a circus of fandom,
Exactly.
you know?
Oh yeah. Unique fan
Oh,
base for
Raven's
sure.
busted.
Yep. He's leaking now too.
These guys are pulling out all the
People
stops.
got juice here.
Yeah, old school Powerades.
Yeah.
Flag waving up into the Eagle's nest.
Oh.
From the
He's trying to
basement
climb
to the
that.
attic.
Oh my God.
And Tommy gets launched head first into that vending machine, and then tumbles to the concrete.
Tommy Dreamer just makes it look so devastatingly violent. Anything that happens to it.
And you can bet they don't want any part of these two guys.
Here he
It
comes.
seems
Oh.
if they fight as hard as these two guys, they may actually beat the Cowboys.
We got the Lou jumping into the chat. What's up, the
Oh, we got
Lou?
Lou
Everybody
coming.
go check out the Lou. He's going live tonight. You need to check it. You need to be there. It's going to be fun. Him and Dingle, I believe, are squaring off in some video games. Lou, we are watching some ECW.
What impact?
It is ECW TV, Season 5, Episode 24, Raven versus Tommy Dreamer in the last Raven versus Tommy Dreamer match of ECW.
Lost a lot of blood.
You are correct. ECW. They're already chanting it in the crowd.
Yes.
They've been chanting it for a while, actually.
We're currently at the
Matt.
17-minute, 20-second part is
Tommy's
where I'm at
fighting
if you'd like to
carefully
join
get
us.
back to his feet.
Yes.
Uh-oh, we're in the ring now. They finally got to the ring.
It finally got to the ring.
Oh!
I love that drop toe hold move.
Yeah.
He brought that to EC. When he did that to Goldberg,
Incredible move.
Con,
Oh,
I
yeah.
jumped out of my seat. I was like, finally, somebody's gonna beat him, and it's gonna be Raven.
That would have been sweet.
Oh, it would have been so great.
Looks like he wants to dish out some more punishment.
Oh, right to it. Right to the little Tommy Dreamers.
Yeah. Always calling for something. Oh.
And a boot right
Boot to the face.
Who's he calling for?
And I believe Tommy Dreamer infamously got one of his testicles busted in a ECW match.
Really?
I think it was a cane shot he took from, I want to say Sandman or New Jack.
But if Dreamer takes another blow to the head like
I will find that story for the next episode, people.
Yes, for sure. Yeah,
a good
definitely
story.
dig that up. Hell no, you can't.
Oh, they're getting to the top rope now. He cracked him right.
Oh my God! Oh!
Oh my God!
Oh.
Rocket launcher! To it!
Oh, he kicked out. That chair is shattered.
Ball attempt was unsuccessful.
I don't understand how his forearm is not shattered.
Right. Oh! DDT.
Beautiful DDT.
What a transition.
Yes, very great. There's the Hawaiian guys. Oh, you know what this is, don't you?
I've seen a video
You gotta
where he
know.
did this exact same
Uh-oh.
thing once before.
Oh, nope. Oh!
That's the ordinary sign. Referee Finnegan is down.
Yeah, there's no ordinary sign.
There's a lot
No, it is not.
here tonight. Past and present. The past and the present is going to determine the future for one of these two men.
Do it.
He said
EC
fucking
fucking
W. Hell yeah. Do it. Ah!
He nailed him with that pile driver.
Don't you miss the pile driver?
Yes, I do. 1, 2. No!
And Lupus breaks up the
He's not gonna let that happen.
No!
It's the same thing Stevie Richards did when Tommy fought Raven for the second time at Hostile City Showdown 95. What's Beulah gonna do?
DDT!
I love it.
There we go.
I wish she'd do that to me.
He said, I wish you knew
Beulah
that to
hitting
me.
the DDT.
Oh!
Ooh.
She even got it too. 1, 2. No!
Yeah, Raven uppercutted her in the butthole, man.
Refuses to lose.
Tommy Dreamer won't have children, and she just got punched in the butt.
Yeah, she
That reminded me of
Oh my God!
Oh, blow now, Tommy rolls.
and a nice roll up though. That
Yeah,
was a
it was.
beautiful roll up.
And he still kicked out. Oh shit!
Chastity just sprayed Tommy in the eyes.
Oh, drop kick.
There we
After
go,
getting sprayed to the
drop
eyes.
kick.
1, 2. No!
Beulah's not having none of
Here
this.
we go, cat fight. Beulah and Chastity going at it.
Oh, they're
Look
going.
at them, they're down. Hey, Styles, wouldn't it be great if...
What did this man say?
Raven wants Beulah. I can
Uh-oh.
understand that.
What's Raven gonna do?
He wants a
He saves
reconciliation.
Beulah?
But he better have his mind on Dreamer.
Oh!
Here's
Oh,
his answer.
the ultimate betrayal.
Key on the
Oh my God!
Right on top of the sign.
1, 2. No!
Does he get any
Yeah, dude, this is, I'm telling you, this is the storytelling of ECW. And this match is so good in that.
Oh,
This is the second time the rep has been
2 ref bumps.
destroyed.
DDT. Pinfall.
Ref is down again.
Doesn't count.
Tony has got Raven beat. It's Louis
Oh.
Spicoli.
We go, the interruption. I
DDT.
think this is a jobber.
And it's Louis Spicoli who affects the outcome of this final battle.
About ripped that rep
No!
out of his hand. Oh, you'll never kill Tommy Dreamer. Many have tried. No one has been able to.
Oh, we got him up.
Driver coming up.
No. DDT. Ah!
DDT on Louis Spicoli.
Oh, we got DDT.
DDT on Tony
DDT is like the super kick in this match. 1,
Exactly what I was gonna say. The low blows and the DDTs are the super kicks of this match. Everybody got a low blow in this, except the ref.
Oh, here we go. No. He's up.
Death Valley Driver.
What do we got?
There we go.
Oh, there it is.
Woo!
He just nailed Raven with Louis Spicoli's finisher, and Spicoli had to watch it. Dreamer sending a message to Raven. It's going to take
I really
more
think
Raven.
that
It's gonna
Dreamer
take more
had
Spicoli to end Dreamer's dream. Tonight
He was a little hurt
is
that Raven
Tommy
left.
Dreamer's night.
Yeah.
Like, as a person, for real, like, I think he kind of, it hurt him a little bit.
Oh! I think it's like
Right
saying
on that
ECW.
sign again.
1, 2, 3.
There we go. Tommy Dreamer finally gets his win over Raven. The feud ends there.
His dream has come true. It's
Wow.
the greatest night of his life. Tommy Dreamer.
Yeah, I really love this match because of this. What you're seeing right now. This is pure heart from Tommy, because this is a symbolizing moment where he completed a story that was very well told, that was just captivating. It was one of the biggest draws ECW had at that time, and that was a great match.
Oh! RVD with the Monday Night Raw shirt on. And then there's former In Your House guest Bill Alfonso. Oh! Oh, lights go out again. And I know you were making a point, Voice, but this just kept going.
Yeah, I forgot that this happened after this one.
Oh, it's Sabu! Oh!
Yep. Ooh.
Oh, he's stomping the shit out of him. Oh.
The craziness.
Oh. And then let's go out again. People lighting up lighters and whatnot. What a time.
I mean, it was always a big moment when the lights go out.
Oh, it's Jerry the King Lawler.
Mm-hmm. This was the infamous Monday night thing with Lawler joining, jumping over there, hiring Sabu and RVD. This is when Lawler was fun.
Yeah. What a time. Oh!
And
he said no. Oh! Look at that. Oh! Boo meanie. They just beating up the whole roster.
yeah, that's it. I mean, that's what they were hired to do, to make sure that no one touched Jerry. Some of these guys, I believe in the legend goes that some of them didn't know this was happening.
Really? Oh my God.
Hey, this bingo hall ought to be built out of toilet paper.
Oh my God.
Is that Nova?
Oh. Here, baby. Hey, what about an ECW? Ain't you got anybody tough? Hey, let me say something to the franchise.
Talk about two guys that just made it look like they didn't give a shit. They were there for paychecks.
Look at Bill Alfonso.
I ain't part of this bull, brother. Go ahead and pick all the you want. I got no part of it.
Yeah.
Wow.
I don't think the ECW extremely crappy wrestlers got anybody tough. I don't
Yeah,
think
he said
anybody
extremely
wants to
crappy
war with
wrestling.
me.
Yeah. Yeah, this is a horrible, horrible moment, but it was very impactful too, because it really showed a lot of these guys and like the actual ability to sell. And look at these fans.
This is insane. Oh,
A lot of these. Is that Paul Lee?
I think that's New Jack in it. Oh,
Tommy Dreamer! Look at this! Kill him! Kill the crap! Yes!
look at Jerry Lawler just being a massive heel.
Hey, Paulie! Where's Paulie?
He said, "Where's Paul Lee?"
Look at this right here! What's the matter? Is there anybody in
Kill him.
ECW
This is
that's
crazy.
got any guts? Is there anybody that can back up?
Oh, smashing him with the chair.
I mean, just think about being a fan at this event. You just seen Tommy Dreamer finally get his win over Raven,
Yeah.
reach the pinnacle of what he was feuding about, and then this happened. Like, so you just thought you saw something that was chaotic, and then these guys come out.
Oh, sorry, beating his ass. Oh,
Man.
he's whooping his ass. Oh, damn. Oh, my God.
This was like a moment for ECW that just like really put them on the map, honestly.
Yeah.
Because this was talked about in those magazines you spoke about.
Yeah, yep.
Those even on Monday Night Raw, it was talked about.
Oh. This is just savagery, and I love it. Oh. This is just a takeover. Oh. Oh my God.
I mean, they just throw whatever they can. Jump with a chair. Land on you. Oh, you know whose that is. Alfonso's telling him,
Yeah, he's
you
like,
don't want this. You don't want this heat.
Oh, yeah.
He's like, we need to get your ass out of here right now.
Taz.
Look how young Taz is there, man.
Jacked.
I know. He's just a walking badass. And two of the biggest dudes in ECW, violence-wise, are afraid to even go
Look at them.
near this dude.
That was absolutely insane. That was
Yeah.
great. That was great. Great
I'm,
pick. That was an epic pick.
I truly, what I love about this is you go on a roller coaster ride.
Oh, yeah.
You go through that match, and then you go to Tommy Dreamer overcoming something that he's been feuding for with years with one man, and then everything is taken from him. He is beaten. He is taken out. He is his competition has just come over onto his territory and beat the hell out of him in the ring with two guys who he shares a ring with.
Yeah.
Like that moment in ECW, I think it really sparked a whole forest fire that started to spread from there, because there was so many more great things that happened from from this point on.
Yeah.
And WWE was involved in some of it. And again, goes back to what I was saying earlier with the AI discussion. I believe that there was some Vince having his hand in ECW for at least a moment, a couple storylines or something like that.
Yeah. No, great point. Really great point. Yeah, man, that was great. I really enjoyed watching that. And this is exactly why we do this every Friday, because ECW was such a unique promotion, especially in its time. You know, it was such a unique promotion, and it really just was the breeding ground for many future big-time stars, and a promotion that people were hungry for, and they were hungry to do something, to have an alternative to what WWF was at that time. And remember, this is a time where we're looking at kind of like more, we were starting to shift into the Attitude Era, but we were also leaving like the golden era of like goofy gimmicks, and like just like everything seemed a little bit overly produced, you know, and and there's nothing wrong with stuff being produced, but like with ECW, where there was that production feel, there was that raw, gritty feel, and I think people were hungry for that.
Oh, very true. Very true. I couldn't say it better myself, honestly, because you hit it right on the head there. That's why we always talk about the fans and the things, because without the fans reacting the way they are, this makes no sense, you know. And for Heyman to loop right back to that discussion where it talked about Heyman being the greatest promoter out there, that he listened to the fans.
Yep.
He was the one giving us what we wanted. And then sometimes he was like, fuck you, I'm going to do it my way. Yeah. And we loved it too, though, because of the people he put around to do those, to play out the scenarios he came up with. You just seen a whole locker room come out ready to go to war for what was created, because the enemy, and at this time, this was an enemy. If ECW could have showed up on WWF, wouldn't have really moved too many needles. But a WWF guy showing up on an ECW show, that moves many needles.
Yeah. No, I agree with that, man. I do. We do this and we have fun with it, and like it's really become a thing where it's like we've dug so deep into ECW now at this point that it's like there's so much more to see. You know what I'm saying? And we've dug so. My point is, we dug so deep into it that it's like we want to keep going. I know I want to keep digging and digging and seeing more and more unique matches, unique storylines that they had. At some point, if it becomes an available, we should sit down and just watch like an entire like episode of like ECW TV, just to even see like the promos and like the storyline progress and whatnot. Don't get me wrong, I like seeing the matches. The matches are great, but also I want to see some lead up too. You know what I'm saying?
Oh no, I completely agree with you. I mean, if we're gonna break down the Shield, fans, I struggle where to start these matches every week because I know what's led up to it. But you know, I want you guys to understand that it starts somewhere, and it starts with the matches. And Howse, if you're wanting it, we can go deep into these, because honestly, these ECW Hardcore TV episodes, they're only an hour long.
Yeah, it's not even bad. Yeah, that's not bad at all.
So we could definitely do something like that, because I agree with you. I mean, every episode starts off with Joey Styles explaining what happened and where they're going into. And I've said it many times, I mark out for Joey Styles. Again, people, if you can reach out to him in any way, form, or fashion and get us in front of his eyes, we would appreciate it greatly, because without Joey, ECW doesn't have a voice. It just doesn't, because he was the voice.
Yeah.
Yes, I mean, fantastic. Hopefully I didn't give away my hidden secret of the name, The Voice, but yes, that's how I always seen him, man. I want to be something like him in one way or another, you know. And I love everything ECW did. You guys have seen that. You guys know that. You know Howse does too. He's an ECW dude. I'm an ECW dude, and you're the fans of it. You're coming here. You're seeing it. We love it. We appreciate all of you.
No doubt. We really do, man. And I appreciate this episode. This was great. And it's over now, but if you guys get a chance to go back, Grun's Room, he finished it up, and now we've bled into SmackDown, and that's all right, because I can always go back and check that out and whatnot. But these ECW Watch Alongs, I love doing these, so I'm okay with it. And with that being said, I'm going to give it to my man Voice here. Go ahead and plug anything that you want to plug, where they can find you. Just go ahead and tell them, man.
All right, so fans, you can find me on Monday nights at 7 p.m. where I go live with the Grunmeister. He is the blue-eyed villain, and you want to be his fan. So come and join us on a Monday Night Raw review where we talk about the 3 subjects that intrigue us the most, and we get you ready for Raw. We send you off there at 8 p.m. It's only an hour-long show, so come hang out with me and Grun. We have a fun time. You can also catch me here on the ECW Watch-Alongs where me and Howse break down ECW. We find a match, we go and we talk about it, we go in depth with it. We also have other discussions at the first half of the show. So it's very inviting for everybody. So come, be a part of it. Be a part of the ECW crew with me and Howse. And then on Sundays, join a house party. It's not exclusive. Anybody can really get in as long as you don't break anything.
Yeah.
But we talk wrestling. We talk in your house. We talk all the things you want to hear. And you get to hear a little more from me. Maybe you like that. Maybe you don't. Either way, I'm going to be here on In Your House and doing all the In Your House things. So come hang out with me. Hang out with my friends. You'll love it. Like Howse said, Grun's Room. Usually we go off and we send you to Grun's Room. But Grun, we had a group meeting. Things are happening.
For sure. Awesome things are happening. And I got to say, if you guys haven't listened to the last Grun's Room, I'm sure this Grun's Room was even better because, like, that's how it's kind of been with Grun since he's joined the team. Like, it's been steady progression, and seeing him just grow into a podcaster, it's been really great. Last week's episode was really good, y'all, so you guys should go back, check it out. It was a good one for sure. We're all starting to find our footing. It's awesome.
Yes, I agree.
Man.
Oh, we got a heart from Scott Hewlett. We love that dude.
My man, my guy. Yeah, he's a great guy. He's a great guy for sure. Love me some Scott. But guys, you already know the vibes. You know where I'm going to be at, right here at In Your House, doing what I do best with the great team here. Sundays, we have those amazing Sunday house parties where a lot of us get together. It might not be all of us, but it's doggone sure a lot of us. We get together. And just so you guys know, I'm glad that I brought that up. This Sunday, guys, and know you guys are used to the Sunday house parties happening early at like 11 o'clock or noon or something like that. This Sunday, I want to let you guys know that myself, the Voice, Josh Joseph, and Grunmeister, we're going to be getting together later that evening, okay? The house party is going to be later that evening, guys, because we're going to be doing an NXT No Mercy Watch Along. That's going to be great. That's going to be awesome. I'm excited for that. It just felt perfect. Everybody, is off for the most part. Most people are off for the holiday. I know I am. So I'm like, you know what? I could just sit around and watch the show and chill out. And I was going to watch NXT No Mercy anyway. I was going to have it on anyway because it'll be at a good time. I don't have to get up early the next day. I can just relax. And I could have just sat there and watched it, but I thought, what if the team got together, we shifted the house party, and just took it to that evening and have an awesome watch along? So I'm glad we're doing that. That's going to be fun if you guys want to join us. And then on Monday, you already know you could join my man, The Voice, Josh Joseph, and the Grunmeister Window Lickers, the Raw preview show where they discuss 3 things of interest to them, and Grun gives you one thing that he really wants to talk about, and that usually turns out to be a really great episode. You guys already know the smoke sessions from Hypocrisy Jones. One just dropped, and you never know when he's going to drop it again because, well, he be high, and we all know that, and we love him for it. And then on Wednesdays, you already know what it is. It's myself and Divinely Designed Annie O'Neill. Anything that you guys have heard on Window Lickers, we take it and we break it all down on the Raw Deal with Howse and O'Neill, and it's just a great combination between Window Lickers and the Raw Deal. So it's great stuff. They set us up. We hit it out of the park. It's an awesome time. So, guys, Friday, today, and next week, and the Friday after that, and the Friday after that, and the Friday after that, you guys can join us for the ECW Watch Along series, a series that we've been doing for quite a while now, and I think it's been wildly successful in my opinion. It's been fun, it's been great, and you guys out there seem to like it. You guys downloaded, you enjoy it, so I'm glad you guys do. It must be you guys, it must be you historians out there, you wrestling historians out there like us, going back and watching that old stuff, and we love to do it as well. So glad you guys are joining us for that. And then, of course, Grun's Room, SmackDown, preview. Grun is doing great. The blue-eyed villain himself, developing into quite the podcaster, and it is just great. We've got a lot of things moving, and guys, just a reminder, I want to remind you guys, September 15th, live on location house party coming soon. Where's it going to be? We're going to announce all the details on September 15th for this house party. It is going to be great. But guys, once again, great episode with myself and the voice. We love it. We love to give it to you guys. You guys enjoy taking what we give you, and that's that work. And guys, you know where we can follow us at. That's the In Your House Wrestling Podcast. Join us in everything that we're doing, every show. Join our Discord, everything that we're doing. We drop every show in our Discord. Anywhere that you guys want to find it, we are doing exactly what this is a whole podcast network. So if any of you guys are out there checking us out, you guys know what we're doing. Tell somebody. Let them know, because it's all word of mouth. We appreciate it. We are really making a splash here in the wrestling community, and we appreciate y'all out there joining us. So, guys, you already know what it is. It's In Your House, and that's HOWSC, and the W stands for work. So, for the voice, Josh Joseph, for Hypocrisy Jones, for Divinely Designed Annie O'Neill, for the Grunmeister, for the world's most dangerous podcaster, Paragon, I am Alakon, the Concept House, here to remind you to tell a friend, to tell a friend, to tell a friend, to hop on this bandwagon. Get on, or get gone, because the household is still going mighty strong. You guys have a great day and a great rest of your week. Peace. Yeah. In your house with O'Con. Hey, O'Con, in your house. Hollywood in your house. Hypocrisy's head in the clouds. Curating all kind of loud. Wrestling in front of the crowds. Paragon's holding it down. Anybody can get it. Josh Joseph standing on his decisions. He is the voice. There is no choice. We is the voice. In your house making wrestling noise. Moving fast, it's like cruiserweight action. In your house is the perfect distraction. Pumpers in your ears when you in traction. Get this work with some wrestling action. Smoke.